Hey, God bless you all. Pastor Carlos here, House of Redemption Church in Interlochen, Florida. I want to share a word with you this afternoon. It is found in the book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. The book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. The Bible reads in this manner. It says, brothers and sisters, if someone is overtaken in any wrongdoing, you who are spiritual, restore such a person with a gentle spirit, watching out for yourselves so that you also won't be tempted. And I want to share this word with you because it was in my spirit. And the thing is that sometimes we are so quick to judge and condemn. We're so quick to point the finger at somebody when we realize that somebody has fallen, or when somebody has made some mistake, or somebody's caught in any wrongdoing. We're quick to judge. We're quick to point the finger at somebody. And the Bible is very clear when it talks about us not judging people. Now, the Bible does speak about a judgment, a sound judgment. So we're called as Christians to judge all things, but we're not called to judge in the sense of condemning our brothers and sisters or condemning people, right? So Paul is saying here in this chapter 6, verse 1, he's saying if someone is overtaken in a wrongdoing, in other words, if somebody is found to make some kind of mistake, if somebody is found to fall or have fallen into a sin, it says, you who are spiritual, restore such a person with a gentle spirit. So the Bible is saying, if you're spiritual, if you're a mature Christian, if you consider yourself a spiritual person, right? The Bible, Paul is saying that we need to restore such a person. Now, when you restore something, you're actually bringing it to its normal function. The problem is that we're quick to judge and we're quick to break people down instead of actually restoring them. So Paul is saying, hey, if you're spiritual, if you call yourself spiritual, if you call yourself a mature Christian, you don't need to condemn or break or break down your brother. You need to actually restore them and build them up. And then he says, watching out for yourselves, right? Or considering yourselves so that you won't be tempted. In other words, we are not exempt from temptations, and we're not exempt from falling into a temptation. So we need to consider ourselves. You know, we're quick to judge people and point the finger at people, but what would happen if the shoe was on your feet, right? What would happen if it was you who was overtaken with some kind of fault, right? You would want somebody to restore you with a gentle spirit. Now, it's interesting that Paul says with a gentle spirit. Why? Because sometimes we see, or we have seen throughout our lifetime, right, people that tend to say that they want to restore somebody, but they do it in such a wrong way or in an out of order type of way. And Paul is saying, hey, do it with a gentle spirit. Do it with love. You know, in that verse 2, also in Galatians chapter 6, Paul tells us to carry one another's burdens. In this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. Now, what is the law of Christ? Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, right? And then the second one is to love your neighbor as yourself, right? So that's the law of Christ. So when we operate in a gentle spirit and we restore people and build people up, we're actually fulfilling the law of Christ. Amen. So this afternoon, I just want to encourage you to be a restorer and not one who breaks people down. Be a restorer. Be one who builds people up and not break people down. In doing so, you are operating in the love of God. God bless you all.